Hello, I'm the Juilliard, and welcome to Jazzy Glass Air Plant Holder Workshop. For this workshop, you'll need a UV lamp, UV goggles, UV resin, or a two-part resin like liquid diamonds. Different bits of seashells and mother of pearl and miniature seashells and starfish. You're going to need a cute little air plant, some sand, and these adorable little corked glass bottles for your message in a bottle. A piece of rolled up paper from the craft paper for your message if you'd like. This is a cup from a tattoo ink cup, and we use it for the reservoir for your air plant. You'll actually put it into place and put drops of water in that, and then the plant just sits atop of it. It doesn't have to go inside of it. And it's just to add that extra little bit of water that the air plants might need. Of course, we'll need a piece of clear vinyl, a trash bag, or an old shower curtain. This is actually clear for a reason. And then you've seen that I had the felt feet. And then you're going to need 8 ounces of our Jazzy Glass. Okay, and then we're moving on. I've got about 1 ounce of clear Jazzy Glass. And now you're just going to dump the Jazzy Glass onto your clear vinyl sheet and reserve a little bit of it. And we use that just as filler if you get areas that you need to build up as we go through the project. And so you're just scrunching it up. There's no particular way to do it, just whatever you like, the pattern that you like, because we're going to lock it all down with the UV resin. So here I am just putting in the glass little bottle. And I did have it in an angle. You really can't see it at this perspective, but you will. It's just tilted in an angle. And then we're placing in the cup where we'd like the air plant to go. And so basically, there's a little nub on the bottom that you can just sand off just so that it sits a little flatter if you'd like. You don't have to do it, but you can. But anyway, position that in there, and we press the glass up around it. We press Jazzy Glass up around it, and then kind of, you're building up your composition, if you will. So I'm like laying out the bottle and kind of deciding, okay, I want to add a little bit of glass under it so that it stays raised and everything. And of course, once we secure that with the UV resin, it'll lock that in there, and it'll be permanently in there. And here I am taking, like driftwood, and like I said, once again, deciding on the composition before I start locking anything down. I want to make sure that, the wood's going to fit where it needs to fit, and so on. So here I'm taking the UV resin, and we're just drizzling it on like you would like a caramel or a chocolate sauce, right? I always love those little things about food, right? So anyway, you drizzle it on, and you don't want to go too close to the edge, but the resin's actually going to drip over to the glass, and it's really going to just start to meld everything together, and it will level out. And here I've just removed the bottle just to put some down, and then we're going to put the bottle back into it, and that will help anchor it when we do our cure. Yeah, so you just get it right into place. All right. And now we'll come in and we'll, just make sure there's nothing in. We'll take our UV light. It usually takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes. It depends on the UV resin that you use. And later I'll show you that we will be lighting it from the underside. That's the reason that we use the clear vinyl, is it just allows the light to get into those shadowed areas. So you can see there I'm going around just kind of filling of it and shaking it just to see what loose pieces I have. And I can either anchor those loose pieces with more resin, or there you go, see I'm dumping it off because I don't need it. I actually like it. It looks more organic. Yep, save your bits. You need to save all of your bits. You use those in your other projects. Alright, so you can see that it's rigid now. And so we go to the next step. Yeah, and see that cup, the resin doesn't stick to it. So it allows us to be able to take it out. So if you need to wash it or whatever throughout the time that you have this, then you can keep that clean, and it just sits down inside of there. You can take it and put your water in it or whatever and then put it back. So here we're getting ready to anchor down the piece of driftwood. And like I said, just paying attention to my composition. And then I just squirt a little bit of the resin on. What's cool about using the resin is if you don't want it to look like it's, like wet on the outside of it, keep it into areas where you're not going to see it. However, because we're working with a piece that's supposed to represent water, if I got it on the wood, it won't matter. And now I'm taking the UV lamp and I'm going to, because the wood is very opaque, right? We're going to cure from the underside. Please make sure that you wear your protective lenses, because with it going up like that, it's, not good for your eyes. Now, if you have a cure box to set it in, then you wouldn't have to worry about that. So now we're drizzling a little bit more of the UV resin. That's because we're going to start adding in our mother of pearl chips, more shells, maybe some more sea glass, maybe more Jazzy Glass. It really depends on, what you like. Here I've got my spoon and some of the little mother of pearl chips. I just love those little pearl chips. They're so cute. They really make great filler too. Now, if you're not careful, you can, overdo it and put too much stuff on. But just take your time, and before you, cure it, just make sure that it works for you. And of course, if you do cure it on there with some of the resin, you can still pop them off if you need to. So here I'm just setting all those items down. Okay, so I've decided that I need a little bit more resin, and because I'm going to come in with some sand. And then we're just going to sprinkle it on like you would glitter. Now remember, if you do it in really heavy, then if the resin doesn't saturate it or cover it, then you're going to have an issue. It will come off. So just keep that in mind too whenever you're doing those kinds of things like this. It's just to anchor it all. Now here I'm just taking little cute stuff, sand and little shells and mother of pearl, and we're putting them down inside the little bottle. Now I did not put resin inside the bottle. I left it free flowing. I kind of like that. It has movement in there. The little bottle is cured into the piece, but the product inside is not. And then, we'll kind of push it all down in there. And then we'll tuck in the little piece of paper that I made up out of that little piece of scrapbook map. Now, you could easily put a white piece of paper and actually have a message in there so that your kids can see it. Now, here we've got some of our Jazzy Glitz, which is our fusible glitter. It's like fish flake food. And you just sprinkle it on. Fusible glitter is pretty cool because you can actually sprinkle it down and then iron with a sheet. You can iron it and create sheets of glitter. I call it Angelina glitter lace. Just a note. So here I'm just drizzling more resin back over the top of our glitter, just to make sure that it's all secured, because we have some people out there that have, issues with glitter going everywhere. So we want to make sure we anchor it. And here we're choosing the Starfish. I chose the white one. And I really want this one to stand up. And this is what I love about UV resin, is that I can put the spots down and then hold it and then come in with the light and cure it so that it is in a standing position. And you just make sure that it's really well on there and you're good. You can do it with two-part as well, but you would have to hold it up or support it so that, it would stay standing up until the 24-hour cure. So you see there, we've got everything done, and it's all cured. And like I said, changes can be made at any time, but, you just want to go back and give it another real good cure, both the bottom and the top, okay? And you're going to feel if it's sticky or whatever. And so here you can see that we're just starting to remove the vinyl. This is what I love about these vinyl. This is a little thicker one. It's just table runner. You just pull it off the bottom. It makes the bottom smooth, and it releases fairly easily. and just helps us get our shapes done, and so we can move it back and forth and to the light instead of just doing it on a piece of foil. And so here I just put in the air plant, and I'm taking out the cup, and I've got my little felt feet. This will keep it from scratching up your counter and your wood table that you're going to put it on. And then you can completely cover the whole bottom with a piece of felt if you like, but I find that these little felt feet work perfect. So then see, there we go. We just put the cup back in it, and we've got our little air plant. Like I said, just a couple drops of water in that cup will just help sustain the moisture for the air plant, because certain areas of your home get drier than others, and they do like a little bit more humidity sometimes. But there you go. That's our Jazzy Glass air plant holder.